The second that we first meet, we like to start putting each other into boxes. Are they good looking? Are they a danger, or a potential friend, or even enemy? We like to find out every little detail about someone to build a mental picture of them as a person. Their name, age, future career. Have they cheated before? What kind of things do they like? What kind of people do they like? What gender do they prefer to go out with? It's like we're naturally made to find people like ourselves, to seek out others who accept us. We group together with others who share small similarities. Music preference, gender, fan base, primary school. Simple questions such as, what kind of music are you into, for example, can be quite hard to answer though. The categories are just too limiting. It's like we're being asked to squeeze ourselves and all of our feelings into a box that's too small. These boxes are too constricting. They force us to try and define ourselves at such a young age, to just feel acceptance and purpose. And there's a huge pressure to conform to these by the rest of society. Gender and sexuality can both be described perfectly in this way. At 16, I feel that it is horribly wrong to feel pressurised to define myself and cram what I feel into these tiny boxes. The mutual and shared feeling of wanting to be normal or accepted by others blurs your own visions of what you want to do in your own life to make yourself happy. It's hard to be different, let me tell you that. For example, when someone asks you what your sexual identity is, there's not just two straightforward answers or boxes. There's a large grey area in between being 100% gay or 100% straight. And if you'd like to be as smart as I Will Tell It Right, one of my most favourite public speakers, you could even say that there are over 50 shades of gay. Many people fall all over the spectrum of sexuality. If you have gay people over here and straight people there, we find that most people fall and identify as being somewhere in between the binaries, whether it be closer to being gay, straight, or in the middle. Although you can label yourself as anything you want, these labels that are used to define yourself are only for you to give and no one else. This large grey area causes a flaw in the plans of certain laws that have been passed in certain places all over the world. For example, in 29 states in America, that's over half of them, you can legally be fired or even chucked out of your own house because of your sexual identity. And in 81 countries worldwide, same-sex relationships are outlawed, with 11 of them with the death penalty. But where do you draw the line? At what point do we suddenly become second-class citizens, undeserving of equal human rights, or even worthy of becoming a victim to murder? Luckily though, the UK is a lot more advanced than parts of the US and some other countries. Gender can also be described in the same way. Gender is different than sex, which some of you may not know. Sex is defined by the biological makeup of your body parts and is labelled as either male or female, whereas gender refers to the socially constructed roles, behaviours, activities and attributes that a given society believes to be appropriate for men and women, and these are labelled as masculine and feminine. Again, many people fall all over the gender identity spectrum. At one end you have the cisgendered males, and at the other you have the cisgendered females. Now, cisgendered is opposite of transgendered, which means that you have a gender identity which society considers appropriate for the sex that you were assigned at birth. Many different words are used to describe people falling close to the middle of the spectrum, such as gender fluid, androgynous, gender queer, nonconformist, gender neutral, non-binary, or scruff gender, just to name a few. I use many of these labels for myself, as you can see, I have both male and female characteristics in my appearance, so much so that I'm often mistaken for a boy. But I feel comfortable to look and dress masculine, and even though most people don't understand, I believe that differences and diversity like this should be celebrated. Being different from each other should be accepted, as we are all unique. It's what makes us all beautiful. To be nobody but yourself in a world that is doing its best to make you somebody else is one of life's greatest achievements. Most places are advancing pretty well, and learning to accept a wider variety of people, which I'm extremely happy about. But we do seem to still be living amongst people who just cannot seem to do so. Homophobes is the word primarily used to describe these, after some other words in my books. But I believe that this is the wrong word, as a phobia is an irrational fear of something, and last time I checked, these people do not go running when one of us walks into the room, although this would be preferred. Instead, they decide to call us names or spite us for no logical reason. I found this out for myself a couple of weeks before the end of the summer holidays, and I thought that this would be a prime example to use in this talk, so I guess there's good that comes out of everything. But even though me being alive did not affect this person in any way whatsoever, I was anonymously told over the internet that I'm stupid, that there's something wrong with me, and that I have a girl's name yet look like a dude, so I'm confusing them. This person also kept repeating the word faggot at me. Apparently I annoyed and offended them because I looked like a faggot, even though they were throwing one of the most offensive insults at me. These words quickly escalated into cut your wrists and you should kill yourself. I was told 3 times to kill myself, but this anonymous person who I've never met and don't plan on meeting, just due to the way I looked. They apparently could tell everything about me by looking at one photo. They hated me, a complete stranger, just because of who I am and what I look like. I was judged solely on my hair and dress sense. Although it's hard to stand up for yourself when you don't even know who you are, but we are forced to define ourselves at such a young age, and if we don't, others do it for us. Fatso, nerd, fag, slut, stupid. We're always being told what we are, and are being forced to accept the identity that other people are giving us, instead of finding our own path in life through the jungle of tangled thoughts and feelings in our own time. I hope that just by educating and widening the views of people outside of the norm, we will see these boxes, categories, binaries, and oversimplified boxes disappear, and we will see people for who they truly are, because honestly, these words describe nothing about us. Stop treating us like aliens. We're all beautiful human beings. We all deserve to live, love, and share equal human rights. And whether you're gay, straight, bisexual, pansexual, gender dysphoric, transgender, cisgendered, or just different, we are all human beings, so we all deserve to be treated like one. No excuses.